Today I want to share with you one of my favorite breakfast recipes, which is a nourishing smoothie bowl. I drink smoothies a few times a week, but sometimes I just want something that feels more like a meal. To me, there's something about eating with a utensil and chewing that just makes things more enjoyable. And when I make my smoothie bowls for friends, they tell me how beautiful it looks, how delicious it is, how filling it is, and they're even more surprised when I tell them just how simple it is to make. If you make smoothies already at home, this is a great upgrade and a fun change. And if you never made smoothies before, well, this is a great place to start. Before you begin, you want to thaw the base a little. The base of the smoothie bowl is a frozen smoothie packet. Today I am using coconut, which I've already taken out of the freezer. There's other options out there. I've tried acai, which is very good. I've also tried dragon fruit, which is good. We're just going to leave it on the counter as we prep everything. And then I also want to make a note on all my products. The products that I'm using are organic, and it's important, especially for the produce, that you use organic. It reduces pesticide exposure, and when you buy stuff that's sustainably grown, it also helps support soil health. For the smoothie bowls, I like to prep everything first. It helps us assemble things quickly at the end to keep that smoothie nice and thick. For the video, I've already done a lot of the prepping. I sliced up a half of banana, I sliced up 3 strawberries, and I also have a handful of blueberries. These I'll use to top off our smoothie bowl. Also for the toppings, I'm going to use granola, hemp seeds, chia seeds, cacao nibs, and a drizzle of peanut butter. But you can customize it any way you want. I just encourage you to make sure that your smoothie is just not all about fruit, that you're adding a variety of fiber in there, healthy fats, and other nutrients. And now for the blending. Today I'm using my NutriBullet. You can use anything that you have available at home, whether that be a Ninja or a blender. They all work well. The first thing you're going to add is your frozen smoothie packet, which I've already done. The other thing you'll be adding is the other half of the banana, which I have here. For the frozen fruit today, I am using frozen strawberries and blueberries. However, you could use whatever frozen preferences that you like that you have available at home. To boost nutrition, you could also add some protein powder in there. I like hemp. You could add veggie powder or actually veggies themselves. Spinach, kale would be great in here. You can also add any supplements or probiotics. I just say if they're a capsule, just open it up and sprinkle the powder in. For my smoothie bowl, I'm going to add some flax seeds. And I'm just going to sprinkle some in. For flavor, I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon. You could also do a dash of vanilla if you like that. Then for extra protein and to help make the smoothie a little bit more creamier, I'm going to add some yogurt. I will be using goat yogurt today, but again, any yogurt product that you like. I just recommend when you're shopping for yogurt that you read the ingredients, because there's a lot of things in there like sugar, natural flavors, thickeners that you just don't want or need in your yogurt. So ideally you want something with few ingredients and those probiotics that are beneficial for your gut. Another great option you could add to your smoothie is a half of avocado. Avocados don't offer any flavor, which is nice, but it gives it a creamy consistency. There's also avocado chunks now that you could buy in the freezer. Just remember though, whatever you choose for your toppings and your blends, that we're balancing that sugar out. We're not just doing all fruit. We're having some things in there like protein and hemp, healthy fats is an avocado, nut butter, seeds, and then even fiber from chia. It all helps slow that glucose absorption. Now we're going to add a small amount of liquid. I like to use a milk product to make it creamier. My go-to is raw goat milk, but I also use raw cow when that's not available. I prefer these because they are less processed and still contain the natural enzymes and beneficial bacteria that can support digestion. But you could use plant-based milk, you could use water, or you could use a combination of both. We are only going to fill this a little bit. I typically say halfway because we want the smoothie to remain nice and thick, almost like soft ice cream. And then we're going to blend it. And you want to blend everything until it is smooth. I do have to say, because we're only putting half the liquid in there, if you find that the blender blades aren't spinning and there's not enough liquid, just put a splash more. But ideally, we want as little liquid as possible, again, to keep this smoothie nice and thick. Once it's blended, you could transfer to a bowl and start to add your toppings. And this is really where it comes to life. The combination of fruit, fiber, healthy fats makes this a balanced breakfast. There's no right or wrong way to add your toppings. I typically just grab my fruit and put them into little quadrants. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just plop them in. I know my friends say that they're beautiful, but I really don't take the time to think about what I'm doing because my goal is to just quickly get everything in so I could eat it. All right, so that's the fruit, and like I said, I'm gonna use granola. And then again, I just put it in one of the quadrants that aren't being used. This granola is pretty thick, so I'm gonna break it up a little bit. If you don't have granola, that's fine too. Sometimes I just add some walnuts and some pecans. There's actually some nuts in here too, nuts and seeds. You could put seeds on here. But I'm gonna stick with granola, and I am gonna do some seeds. I'm gonna do chia seeds. I just sprinkle them on top. I'm also gonna do the same thing to hemp seeds. Sprinkle on top. I'm going to sprinkle some cacao nibs. And I'm going to drizzle some peanut butter. Again, nothing fancy. And that's it. A smoothie transformed into a nourishing smoothie bowl. Enjoy.